What's the point? We all die anyway. That's the exact sentence younger Adrian heard when he first started going to the gym back in 2018. When I felt like really extremely insecure and straight up anorexic, I thought and said to myself, I need to become stronger. I need to become more confident. I need to just straight up improve and go from point A to point B for the sake and sanity of my own mental health and quality of life. At this period of time, I had a friend who recently just signed up to the gym, and he was convincing me and saying, Adrian, you have to come sign up with me. You will get better at basketball. You will become stronger, bypass your opponents, and just overall more attractive. I'm going to be honest with you, bro. I didn't hesitate. That same day, I told my mum, I want to go gym. Can you drive me there? Because this was when I was 16 and I needed a parent guardian to actually complete like all the sign up forms and sign up to the gym. So I signed up, and honestly, I wasn't even like that anxious or nervous just because of the fact that I had friends who were going to be there that same day. So I sign up, go upstairs to the gym where the weight section is. Downstairs was all the cardio stuff. Go upstairs and I already see a couple of my friends there. They're on like that horizontal leg press machine. Keep in mind, at this point of time, I had no idea what like gym machines were. I only really knew what dumbbells and like barbells were. You know those machines where it's like pins? I had zero understanding of what that was. They say, Adrian, jump on. I'm like, how do I get on here? Let me try like, okay, legs up here. Let me adjust the seat kind of back. Without me realizing they have the pin on the full stack and I can't move the weight. I try to like press and it's not moving. It's not moving at all. They laugh and I'm just like, holy fuck, am I really that weak? But then they like tried to explain, saying, Adrian, no, it's the full stack here, let's half it. And I could move it and I was pretty happy. That one quick story of my first experience at the gym was the beginning of me saying, oh my God, I want to become stronger. I want to prove people wrong. I want to become more confident. I want to do this and this and this. Just for the sake of my own mental health, I want to self-improve. I have that burning desire to go through pain and become a better version of myself. A month into this journey, my friendship group was kind of small, and this is nothing against them, but I can brutally remember that majority of them, other than like my two of my other friends who will come to the gym with me, everyone else at school wasn't that really focused on improving themselves, which, okay, we were like 16, 17, but I can say still to this very day that they are still the same people who, what they were back then. I would improve the quality of my life. I was motivated. I was disciplined to go on this journey regardless of how painful it was. And I would consistently and regularly hear the comment of, Adrian, why do you go gym? You haven't built muscle in X amount of time. You do know, we all die anyway. And that you do know if you build this amount of muscle, that's no different. Listen, this is like, fuck. This is like the pinnacle of like bottom of mindsets. And I hope you as the viewer, I hope you don't have this mindset. On Snapchat, you know what one of my close friends would send me as like a picture in like one of our group chats? He would send that like really old meme. You can probably like imagine it in your head. How it's like two halves of a picture. The first half is like some skinny fat, like pale, no muscle guy's physique. And the bottom half is like some extremely jacked guy. And in the middle, it has text, both die with one bullet. Now, if you've been on self-improvement for over 6 months, I'm sure when you hear this like phrase or these sorts of memes, mindsets, you probably get like the biggest ick and just feel like so repulsed from that person and his negativity. And I'm going to be honest with you, bro, when I would get these comments when I started this journey back in 2018, they got to me. They actually made an impact of my motivation and thought, fuck, he actually has a point. Why do I need to go through this pain? I might just go play video games with him. Although video games makes me like hyper depressed, although skipping the gym and not going through pain ruins me and destroys me, I might listen to him and not actually have the understanding and awareness that he's just trying to slow me down and feels insecure that I'm trying to improve my life and he's not doing anything about it. This phrase, we all die anyway, you're not living. You are quite literally decaying and disintegrating by the day. As men, as masculine men, it is our purpose, it is our priority to make our most full use and reach our full potential, because that's what living is. Can you imagine being the guy who day by day, he doesn't take action on what he wants to do. He procrastinates, he makes excuses. Can you imagine what his mental well-being is like? Can you imagine all of the negative thoughts and anxiety just because of the fact that he's coping on like the biggest, most macro level compared to the other guy who says, you know what, regardless of how much pain I have to endure, regardless of how difficult this is going to be, I'm just going to choose the path of discipline and self-improvement because at least then it feels like I'm fulfilling a purpose and I'm giving it all I can to become my best self. Now I look back and this isn't like me trying to talk smack to some of my old ex-friends and the fact that I've outgrown them. I'm feeling restricted. I'm not feeling expressive and like living, feeling abundant and not scarce, just like fully going out of their comfort zone. And it's funny because I would hear the phrase constantly. I remember back in high school when I was like on this path of being disciplined, going to the gym 5 times a week, never skipping a session, not going to as many parties, trying to say no to alcohol, although I still made plenty of mistakes with drinking. You know what phrase I would hear the most? Is Adrian, you take it too seriously. Enjoy life while you're young. Enjoy life. That's the phrase I would hear, and it's funny because to me it makes absolutely zero sense. I have found 100 times more enjoyment in myself through this journey. This enjoyment that other people say who aren't on this path of self-improving, I'm going to validate you, bro, that it is a big cover up. They're not enjoying. You want to know what they're really doing? They're escaping. Escaping. They're trying to hide away. Imagine like the sun is slowly rising and they're just trying to stay in that shadow. They keep running. But eventually, the sun is going to be fully risen and they are going to be exposed and be full of guilt, regret, shame. Now, I don't want that to be you. If there's one thing which can motivate you right now, it's the fact that you are in control. It just comes down to making that one masculine decision and jumping and subbing yourself into the game and saying, I'm not going to let that be me. I'm going to take control of my life. I'm not going to listen to these haters. I'm not going to listen to these people who are telling me I take life too seriously, or telling me to enjoy my life. Because quite literally, I find the most enjoyment through growth. Think about it. We were all brought on this planet to grow. When you plant a tree, does it midway stop growing because it wants to escape its problems? They don't have conscious minds. Same thing with animals. They just grow and live and reach their full potential. The unfortunate reality is for us humans, we have a conscious mind and we are aware of, oh, pain is a bit difficult. I might just choose comfort instead. That's how we think. But I'm telling you that the pain of comfort, the pain of not going on this journey, the pain of saying to yourself, we do kind of die from one bullet, so I don't think I really need to lift weights. I might just doom scroll. I might not start a business just because of my own selfish needs and because of the fact that I feel a bit insecure sharing my stories and this person's going to see it. That is the biggest disservice that you're doing because we all have something willing and meaningful to share and we all have stories to tell. And by you not starting that business, by you doom scrolling instead, by you not picking up that book, and by you fapping instead and watching corn, that path is an enjoyment. It's escape. You wonder why you can't attract a girl. You wonder why you don't feel happy. It's because you've been escaping. And I know, bro, I know how I have like utmost conviction in the way I speak. But that is purely because of the fact that specifically this year, I have never felt so abundant in my life ever. I have never had as least negative thoughts in existence. Just because I know in every single minute I have, I am making my most and best use of it. I don't want to be that guy watching other people's lives. I don't want to be that guy watching other people get jacked. I don't want to be that guy spectating, watching sporting teams achieve success. While I sit there watching them on a TV with their jersey and some other man's name on my back. How would my future wife think of me? That is the mindset I want. I don't want to think, I'm going to die anyway. I want the mindset of, I want my future wife to think of me as a man and not as a boy, not as someone who has such a negative view and perspective of life. And it's funny because I already know where your brain's drifting now. You say we only live once, you say, enjoy while you're young, and you also say, I have time. I'll start when I'm older. I just want to get my career in check first. I just want to build a little bit more muscle first before I speak to that girl. I'm thinking. And I'm still... what is there to think about? Us men thrive the most through action taken regardless of how shit and much as of a noob as we are. We thrive, we excel, we accomplish through being a noob and then progressing. And by you saying, I'm gonna start later when I'm older, is you escaping on such a large level. Where you are right now and where you're gonna be in 6 months' time, a year time, 2 years' time, you're gonna be the same person with the same beliefs. What's gonna be so different from when you are right now to you 5 years from now if you haven't done the scary task? You're still gonna have those same limiting beliefs, which are almost like handcuffs and choking you and pulling you down and keeping you prisoned. That's going to be you 5 years from now. Yeah, you're going to be a little bit more older and you might have a little bit more money in your bank account, but you're still going to have the same balls as what you do now because you're not going through pain. You're not doing uncomfortable stuff. I said to myself 1 year ago when I started this journey of posting content on YouTube and sharing my lessons, I said, regardless of how shit I speak, regardless of how uncomfortable I feel behind the camera, regardless of how many negative thoughts I have through my brain and that are circulating 24 hours in the day, regardless of all of that, I'm still gonna take action because I know when I take action, I'm living fully. Makes me work harder in everything else. It makes my relationships much more deeper. It makes my friendships much more social, intellectual. It makes my business as fun and as fulfilling as ever. It makes my physical health as progressive and as of fun. Like I can just go on forever. Ask yourself, do you want to be regressing or do you want to be improving? Because that image I got sent with, regardless of the physique, we all die anyway. Who lived a higher quality of life? The guy who was living fully or the guy who was escaping? Who had less negative thoughts? Who had a bigger impact? Who left this world with a legacy? I know the jacked guy probably did. I know he was a lot happier. I know he, no matter how much pain he had to endure, I know every single night he could rest peacefully, knowing he gave it his all. Self-improvement shouldn't be a choice. It shouldn't be, do I self-improve or do I just regret? It's a way of life. And to me, I'm going to be honest with you, it should quite literally be the only way. Because ask yourself, would you want to be friends with someone who isn't giving it his all? When you could be friends with someone who's giving it 100% of his all? Outgrowing people is a real thing and it has never hit me more than this present moment. Which sucks because I've always been that guy who finds most purpose in giving advice and wanting to help. But you know what kills me the most is when I put in so much effort trying to help and encourage and I don't feel heard and they don't follow what helped me. That makes me feel so unheard, and I don't know if that's like past trauma, but I want to feel heard because I know what I have to say helps. When people can take action on what I say, I feel so fucking fulfilled and happy and just want to do more and more and more. And it kind of creates my identity and makes me feel like I have to stay 100% now. I got to stay sharp. I got to smash as many gym sessions because I am that guy now. And the funny thing is, I want to be him. You've probably noticed with yourself in your own social circle, the more you've started going to the gym, the more you've started maybe even posting content, maybe even reading books. You've seen your old friends and you just like, you get the ick because of complacency. But that's not that you hate them, it's that you want the best out of them. And that's what a true friend does. A true friend inspires, challenges, pushes his other friends. And if that's been you and they haven't been listening, you're wasting your time and you need to find new friends. And where's the easiest way? Okay, first thing in the description, my private school community. All about self-improvement, all about brothers who are willing and courageously trying to learn what's the best way to do this, just for a better life quality. It's so funny because lifestyle gets deemed as unrealistic and toxic and ridiculous, extreme. Adrian, self-improvement's a bit extreme. Why would I read before bed? I don't want to read before bed. I just worked my 9 to 5 and now it's time to relax by playing video games, by watching TV, by fapping. The people who aren't improving want to relax the most. They think that because they worked hard, aka having their brain turned off and not thinking creatively or constructively for the whole day, they think they can then relax, and they relax by doing habits in which digs a deeper hole. That's not relaxation. Truly think about it. If right now you work a shit job and you hate your whole day in existence, and then you want to spend the remaining 3 to 4 hours of your day relaxing, aka not working on a business, not helping, not giving, but relaxing and scrolling and playing video games and fapping. All of those things are chains that are anything but relaxation. It is escaping. You play video games at nighttime thinking you're relaxing. Brother, you're making hundreds of thousands of micro decisions. You fap before bed because it makes you feel nice and all that dopamine and release. It just gives you the feelings of guilt, shame, regret. You watch Netflix before bed, but before you know it, you're watching a TV series, you're going episode after episode, and by the time you check the time, it's 3 a.m., and now you've missed real relaxation time, which is sleep quality. Now, is it really unrealistic, or is self-improvement the right way of living? Because like I said at the start of the video, my well-being and quality of life has never felt like this. I've become the guy who now when I speak to my friends, I just have too much to share and say. Because I'm constantly in that like student mindset, like learn, read, learn more about my subconscious mind, learn more about productivity and read the 10X rule by Grant Cardone, learn more about relationships and learn about the attachment styles, secure, anxious, avoidant, the anxious, avoidant trap, all of this stuff, how to become secure, how to effectively communicate, the right way of dating, become more of a leader. And you want to know what the funny part is? All of this improvement has made me now look around in like the real world and finally just like look at people and just think, you are so unaware. And it's funny because I was literally like at the shopping center with one of my friends and we're just looking at people. Everyone's on autopilot. Everyone's constantly escaping. No one wants to live. Everyone wants to be told what to do because that makes life easier. We all lack accountability. But you want to know where people lack accountability the most? Self-development. Reading that book. Starting that business. Starting that YouTube channel. Because why start it? You don't have anyone telling you to start it. It shouldn't be for anyone. It should be for yourself. Imagine if you were the guy who said, fuck this. I'm sick of being told what to do. I'm sick of these people with such a negative view on life, telling me I have to come to this shift at this time, although they haven't meditated or read a book in like forever. And they're just angry because their life's so shit, and then they're taking their anger out of me, and I'm going to sit there and take... I don't want that to be me. Just because they hate their life shouldn't mean that I should hate my life. So I'm going to grow up, be more of a masculine man, be accountable, be disciplined, be purposeful, and just start. Because I know when I start, whether it be going to the gym, reading that book, starting that business, etc., when I can just start, that's when I'm no longer the guy who now says, we all die anyway. I'm now the guy who says, what time are you waking up? Let's wake up 6 a.m. and let's do that run. Let's go, let's run. That energy is the energy I want to be. I do not want to be that guy, and I don't want you to be him either, who works hard Monday to Friday and then uses all of Friday, Saturday, Sunday to relax and says, I'll just start later. No. This is why I'm leaving you with an actionable step. And that actionable step is whatever you have been delaying, procrastinating about, not taking action on. That one thing is what you, my friend, are going to take action on now. You have 24 hours. If you feel like you've been struggling with accountability, I am quite frankly giving that to you now and letting you know that if you don't go to the gym in 24 hours, if you don't post that piece of content in 24 hours, if you don't read that book in 24 hours, you are a bitch. But if you take action on any of the things I just said, you're on the right path in your living. You're going to be full of like this adrenaline and good energy that I did something which was scary, but also fun. And it just made me smile for the rest of the day and made me so happy. And here's one thing I want to tell you to watch out for. It's something that my girlfriend told me. When you're happy, you'll soon start to notice that other people get envious of your happiness. And they're people you need to watch out for, because unhappiness and envious is like evil and can spread and go into you. You need to give yourself space and just know that you're in control, you're on this path of self-improvement, and self-improvement also means placing yourself with people who push you and don't hold you back or just make you regress in any sort of way, physically, mentally, socially, emotionally, spiritually. You're probably thinking this path is going to be hard, difficult, extreme, maybe. Is it just the game we are all meant to be playing? Because I know for me, no matter how hard or difficult it's been, it has all been worth it and given future Adrian the best and most positive outlook of life, and just straight up has given him happiness. Self-improvement is the only way. Stop being a bitch. If this video's motivated and maybe even educated you, I've just recently opened up my private school community all about self-improvement. We have a discussion thread where you can ask questions 24/7, whenever. Also going to have pre-recorded courses, so all of the expertise and knowledge I have in gym, diet, dating, confidence, masculinity, everything, social skills, all going to have pre-recorded courses, discipline, and that you can watch modules in like the easiest, most quick way possible. All of like pretty much basically all of the education tidied up and clean. Also 2 live calls a week. So once you feel like you trust me enough, I most highly recommend you check it out, because I feel like it's going to be the best return on investment that you are ever going to get. Other than that, bro, I'm also going to leave another link of all of the books that have helped me become more of a masculine man. Today's leg day. Wish me luck. I'm going to be under the squat rack doing pendulum squats. I'll see you in the next one.